Nobody inside Team USA thought this would turn ugly. Clark's NBC debut wasn't supposed to change anything. It was supposed to be harmless. Instead, it exposed everything. The moment she appeared, the reaction was instant. Real attention. NBA fans treated her like she belonged. She spoke calmly, broke the game down effortlessly. Millions stayed watching. Inside Team USA circles, the mood shifted fast. Confusion turned to frustration. Frustration turned to anger. Clark wasn't supposed to look bigger than the program. She wasn't supposed to command attention without approval. The coach reacted with fear, not hatred. Fear that control was gone. Clark stayed calm. No response, no drama. Fans always choose calm. Team USA didn't own her momentum. The crowd did. Once momentum belongs to the crowd, you can't control it. This wasn't about one NBC appearance. It was about independence. A superstar who doesn't need permission. Team USA realized they couldn't control her. And once control is gone, nothing goes back to normal. Nobody inside Team USA thought this would turn ugly. They expected some noise, maybe a bit of social media hype. But they absolutely did not expect to lose control of the narrative. Because Clark's NBC debut wasn't supposed to change anything fundamental. It was supposed to be harmless, a quick appearance, a nice feel-good moment for women's basketball, and then everyone moves on. Instead, it exposed absolutely everything about the power dynamics in the sport. The moment she appeared on NBC, the reaction was instant. Not polite interest from basketball purists. Not casual curiosity from people checking in briefly. Real, sustained attention from mainstream audiences. NBA fans didn't treat her like a guest making a courtesy appearance. They treated her like someone who genuinely belonged on that stage. She spoke calmly and confidently. She broke the game down effortlessly, with insights that resonated beyond just women's basketball fans. She didn't look impressed by the massive platform or intimidated by the legendary analysts sitting beside her. And crucially, millions of viewers stayed watching. The retention numbers didn't drop, they held, and in some demographics, they actually increased. That's when the real problem started for Team USA. Inside Team USA circles, people began noticing something deeply uncomfortable. The conversation online, in the media, even among casual fans, wasn't about the national team program anymore. It wasn't about coaching philosophies or strategic decisions. It wasn't even about the collective team identity that USA Basketball had spent decades carefully cultivating. It was entirely about her, Clark. And that absolutely terrified the system, because Team USA has always operated on one fundamental, non-negotiable belief: the program comes first, always. The jersey matters more than any individual player. The legacy of the institution supersedes personal stardom. NBC completely shattered that carefully maintained belief in one single night. Fans didn't wait for official statements or permission from USA Basketball. They didn't ask who had approved this new direction or whether it aligned with the federation's messaging. They simply followed what felt authentic and real. They followed Clark. And inside Team USA offices, the mood shifted frighteningly fast.
NBA superstars debut as an NBA analyst, and NBC has absolutely been killing it. First, they had MJ, which, by the way, that deal was insane. He got paid $40 million, and I literally think he sat down for an hour. NBC knows how to find the cream of the crop talent, and I just loved what the executive producer for NBC Sports said. This is Sam Flood. He said, "There's no more iconic figure in basketball in the women's game right now, or the game in general." So we said, let's have a bigger conversation. And it's just so crazy that it feels like every other sport will just come out and say what it is besides the WNBA. The NBA is not scared to acknowledge that there's no more iconic figure in basketball. Not just the women's game, but possibly the game in general than Clark. But we would not.
Confusion inside those offices quickly turned into frustration. Frustration turned into anger. Not the public, performative kind, but private, seething anger behind closed doors. Because this wasn't how any of this was supposed to work according to their carefully controlled playbook. Clark wasn't supposed to look bigger than the program itself. She wasn't supposed to command mainstream attention without seeking approval from the federation first. She wasn't supposed to make millions of people start questioning USA Basketball's decisions and priorities. But she did exactly that. And once fans and casual observers start genuinely questioning authority, questioning the wisdom of the people in charge, that authority immediately feels threatened and cornered. That's precisely where the coach's defensive reaction came from. It wasn't driven by personal hatred or petty jealousy, though those elements might have been present. The real driver was fear. Fear that the system they'd built over decades was slipping away. Fear that their carefully maintained control over the narrative was completely gone. Because the NBC moment did something genuinely irreversible to the power structure. It definitively showed that Caitlin Clark could connect with massive audiences, generate authentic engagement, and build her own platform without needing the national team program at all. That revelation is absolutely dangerous for any institution that's built its entire identity on being the ultimate gatekeeper of relevance and success. The coach and USA basketball leadership tried desperately to regain control of the situation. The tone in public statements changed noticeably. Interviews got sharper and more defensive. Answers to press questions got noticeably colder and more dismissive. Fans and media observers noticed the shift immediately because genuine confidence doesn't react emotionally to perceived threats. Insecurity does. Confidence stays steady regardless of external circumstances. Insecurity lashes out, gets defensive, tries to reassert dominance through tone and exclusion. And through all of this escalating tension, Caitlin Clark stayed remarkably calm. No defensive responses. No official statements addressing the controversy. No manufactured drama or social media outbursts. Just composed silence and continued excellence on the court. That calculated calm made everything else happening around her look exponentially worse by comparison. Because while USA basketball leadership looked visibly rattled and increasingly desperate, she looked completely composed and unbothered. While the institutional system felt the need to be defensive and exclusionary, she projected quiet confidence in her own value. And fans, particularly casual mainstream fans who don't follow internal basketball politics, always gravitate toward calm over chaos.
Out on a court was December with Team USA basketball. She should be back in action with Team USA basketball within a month or so. So that's great. But everybody wants to see her back on the floor with the Indiana Fever. And she's been strongly pushing it. The season's coming, ready to go. And clearly that continued. First, there was a look at the shoes, the new PEs, which apparently might be Parent Trap themed. That's what the theories out there were. I'm not so familiar with Parent Trap, to be honest with you, but if that's the theme, that's the theme. And then Bree Lurke, who of course is photographer extraordinaire around Caitlin Clark, shared this footage from the workout, a 5-on-5 workout. So Clark obviously getting real work in. Working on the handles, I think you see. It's good to hear the sound of the speaker squeaks.
NBA audiences made it even clearer. They didn't watch out of obligation. They watched because she felt authentic. She spoke the game fluently. She carried herself naturally. She didn't oversell her importance. And that authenticity hit harder than any marketing campaign. That's when Team USA realized something painful. They didn't own her momentum. The crowd did. Once momentum belongs to the crowd, you can't control it. You can't slow it down. You can't redirect it. You can only react. And reacting late makes you look weak. The coach's frustration started leaking through tone and body language. Nothing explicit, but fans could feel it. They always can. And instead of hurting Caitlin Clark, it strengthened her image because she didn't fight back. She didn't complain. She didn't demand respect. She let the moment speak, and the moment spoke loudly. This wasn't about one NBC appearance. It was about what it represented. It represented independence. It represented relevance outside the system. It represented a superstar who doesn't need permission. That scares programs built on hierarchy.
That comes with an NBA national broadcast. So he loved every bit of what Caitlin Clark did and what she brought to the broadcast. Now, this is where he started talking a little bit about having Caitlin Clark back more than that March 29th announcement. So it says NBC Sports is planning to bring Clark back later this season. Cordella confirmed that she is scheduled to appear as an analyst for the Knicks versus Thunder on March 29th. As we know, he also added that he hopes to see more of Clark moving forward, signaling that the door is open for additional appearances. While no expanded role has been formally announced, the comment suggested genuine interest rather than casual praise. So, hey man, I don't know. We might see Caitlyn working that booth. That'd be dope though, man. That'd be dope. Of course, with everything going on with the WNBA, we don't even know if we're going to have a season, man. Nonsensical work going on over there in the WNBA. But yeah, we don't know if we're going to have a season. So this might be the only dose of Caitlyn Clark the fans could get. And yeah, I mean, I guess I'm here for it. I'm here for it if that's all we're going to get. But I definitely hope that they end up figuring out this whole CBA thing, man. Now, I did see this yesterday, but I didn't too much care to talk about it, man. It's the same old status quo with the CBA proposal, but somehow it was leaked by Ramona Shelburne. I don't think it was leaked by her. I think ESPN leaked it. She just put it on her Twitter, but it's funny that it says confidential and everybody has it now. But anyway, they was just saying some of the things that the proposal is given, right? Substantially increase player salaries to reflect recent and future business growth, promote business health and profitability.
Team USA wasn't collapsing, but it was exposed. Exposed is unprepared for a player who grows faster than the process. The system is built for patience. Caitlyn Clark represents acceleration, and acceleration breaks rigid structures. Fans didn't turn against Team USA out of hate. They reacted because something felt wrong. You don't push away the person bringing new eyes. You don't resent organic attention. You don't react emotionally to success. That's why the backlash came. Not loud outrage, disappointment. And disappointment is dangerous because disappointed fans disengage. Caitlyn Clark didn't ruin anything. She revealed what wasn't ready. She showed that basketball fans follow authenticity, not politics. Presence, not permission. NBC didn't crown her, the audience did. And once that happens, everything changes. Music, negotiations going on. She's got the Nike stuff coming out. Any other off-court ventures, and then of course, clearly preparing for the Indiana Fever season. Music, and certainly all systems seem go for Caitlyn Clark. And from everything she's putting out there publicly, music, her expectation is that she's going to be on the floor for the Fever on schedule. And the coach's reaction didn't damage Caitlyn Clark. It confirmed her status. She's bigger than the panic, bigger than the noise, bigger than the system trying to contain her. Not because she says so, because people act like it. This wasn't the moment Caitlyn Clark challenged Team USA. It was the moment Team USA realized they couldn't control her. And once control's gone, nothing goes back to normal. The game changes quietly, decisively.